Maryland is a state that is founded on freedom, justice, tolerance. Today's historic vote is a long time coming. Capital punishment is a uniquely severe and irreversible component of our legal system that neither deters crime nor guarantees justice. States that impose capital punishment do not have lower rates of criminal homicide. Indeed, the FBI reports that states with the death penalty generally have the highest murder rates. A national survey of our chiefs of police ranked the death penalty as one of the least effective ways to reduce violent crime. Another reason to abandon this form of punishment is that it is unfairly and unevenly applied. Even though in Maryland, 76% of all murder victims are African Americans, 76% of all murder victims in this state are African Americans, yet it is every single man sitting on death row are there for killing a white person. Repealing the death penalty is just the first of many steps I hope we will take to tackle the racial bias that exists in our criminal justice system. The irreversibility of the death penalty requires an absolute certainty in capital cases that we cannot possibly obtain. Life in prison without the possibility of parole is a fairer approach to punishment. It's a fairer approach to punishment because it assures we are rendering punishment instead of vengeance. Life in prison is smarter economically too. Taxpayers are expected to benefit from $1.4 million reduction in litigation costs just after the first year of repeal, $800,000 in savings year thereafter. Money the governor has pledged to use in part to fund relief for victims' families in next year's budget. Put simply, the death penalty does not make us safer. It does not save us money. It does not work. It cannot be fixed, and it must be repealed. Kirk Bloodsworth is living proof of that, as we have all come to know Kirk's story, a Marylander and a Marine who was convicted of homicide in 1983. He spent 9 years in prison, 2 years on death row before he became the first person in this country exonerated by DNA evidence. And his story is not unique. We have had 280 people in 35 states that have been exonerated through post-conviction DNA testing. These have just been some of the facts, the matters of the head that make our work to repeal today the right policy choice. But there are also matters of the heart worth considering as well. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics portray the judgment hall of Osiris, where upon death souls are weighed on the scales in the presence of the gods. One's heart is placed on those scales, and it is measured against the weight of the feather of truth. If the scales balance, one's soul is allowed to remain immortal. If the heart is too heavy, it is permanently extinguished. We are encouraged to remain mindful that while immersed in matter here in our bodies, we actually are fundamentally on a spiritual journey on earth aimed at growth and perfection of the soul. Every single one of us is on a different journey, some more difficult than others, some with more darkness than light, but we are all on a journey towards growth and greater perfection, towards greater light. Who are we to be the judges? Who are we to determine that the journey is over? Who are we to determine whose soul is ready to be weighed on those scales of justice? By willfully taking a human life, the state imitates the worst of human impulses. Extinguishing a light, no matter how dim, is never a path to greater illumination. Ending this unworkable, immoral, failed aspect of our justice system is the right thing to do, and now is the right time to do it. Posting a green vote up there today allows Maryland's light to shine. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.